Right, so here we have it. First ever live, it would appear, Fab Food blog with a bit of filming. Apparently, I'm going to debone this chicken. Not entirely convinced, but we'll give it a go. Method by the great Jacques Pepin. Rather a nice free-range, corn-fed, jaundiced chicken. Yeah, so we'll give it a go. I've got some notes that I'm going to be keeping a look at, and we'll see how it goes. Apparently, this is a piece of piss. But having watched the video about 10 times, I'm not convinced. He reckons it'll take about 1.5 minutes to debone a chicken if you know what you're doing. So this could be quite a long video, as it won't take 1.5 minutes. But anyway, first things first, sharp knife. Remove the wishbone, which is at that end. You should always remove the wishbone whenever you've got a roast chicken, because it just lets you carve the bird properly. See, it's already going to take longer than 1.5 minutes to do that, so get your fingers in there. Cut on either side of the wishbone and pull it out, and there we have it. Job done. Number one. That's actually a whole wishbone. Quite impressed with myself for doing that. So wishbone out. Next job is to lose the wings. So cut them off. I'm just basically breaking the joint to see where it is. All of this stuff, all good eating, everything, the carcass is all going to go in the stock pot. So, wings done. So, right. Now, flip the chicken, that's the normal side up, breast there. Flip the chicken. Cut through all the way along, I suppose, the base. And the oysters are there, so yes, this is clearly not going quite to plan. Because I'm not entirely didn't cut through enough there. So essentially you're pulling down on the meat until you get to this point here, which is where the oysters of the chicken are. They're the little bits on the underside that are always deemed to be the chef's perks. So now pulling the wings away from the breastbone, oop, nice piece of chicken fat. Now that bone there is confusing the crap out of me. So there's an articulated joint there. I appear to have potentially that makes more sense. So pulling the chicken down, yep. That's the breastbone there. We've pulled the meat down past okay, so half the chicken joint there, that's the wings there, and the breastbone. So, put fingers either side of the breastbone, pull down, hold by the leg, cut out the oyster. So let's get into the oyster. So, next bit. Knife in there, just cut out the oyster, so you're not wasting that rather nice nugget of meat. Pulling the leg round and dislocating the main hip joint, which I've done there, and that allows me to cut through the sinew that is connecting it. Repeat on the other side. There's the oyster. Don't know if you can see that little nugget of meat there. Cutting that out. Use that as a thumb. Bringing the leg and the joint up around. And again, I've dislocated that hip bone. Which will allow me to cut the sinew that holds it. So, whew, blimey. I think this requires you to be quite a bit more, shall we say, vicious with a bird than you would normally expect to be. But there you have it. That's the inside of a bird. Core blimey. And there you have it. The butchered carcass of roadkill. Except we can reconstruct our chicken to look approximately like a chicken. Yeah, that's a strange random little piece of bone in there. Obviously a bit of the chicken that should have come out in an earlier part of the process, so trim that out, because essentially we are deboning the whole thing. good thing about this, because whilst it looks like there's going to be a ton of waste, there won't, because all of the carcass and everything, as you should do with every chicken carcass, is going to go in the stock pot. So that doesn't look a great deal like the video, but that kind of looks like a chicken if you sat on it for a week or two. Right, on the carcass you'll see there, I don't know if you can see, 2 fillets of breast meat. So should just be able to take those off with your thumb. I'm just going to start that, run the blade into that, and then just run the thumb down so again, just starting it off. If I had thumbnails I could have probably done that without doing that, but 2 little fillets of breast meat which we were going to keep. The rest is all good stock pot stuff. And now this is where it gets interesting, because apparently this is where we're going to bone out the thigh and the rest of it. So you got the thigh bone there. Now that's actually popped quite clean, so taking the side of the blade, run it down, holding the blade away from you and the bone, but basically scraping down the bone until you get to the next joint. Now just cut the meat away around the head of the next joint, which is the end of your drumstick. You can feel that in there. Once you've found the drumstick, do the same thing, strip the meat down to the edge of the bone,